Hi, Sean Bucci, surplusfundsriches.net. Today we're going to talk about some issues that have come up in the past that I want to address and be very upfront about. We are full disclosure in everything that we do, but every once in a while someone will say something that prods me to go into a rant. This is the September 2024 rant, let's call it. Love to have your comments, guys, good or bad. Anything you'd like to say as a result of this, please use the comments section. Would love to see some interaction on that. Most of our members, just so you know, folks who purchased and applied our programs, they are fantastic to work with, and we are blessed to have them. The three issues covered in this rant are going to be folks that do too much work as our partners or researchers. They go above and beyond and they think it's helping us and it's not. I'll cover that. Second one is folks who think there's a 100% conversion rate. And we don't see that a lot. Most people have some real world experience and they realize that not everybody says yes to you, but occasionally we get that. And then the third issue covered in this rant is going to be folks who want to argue the parameters or rules that we put in place for file submission. And I need to cover that briefly too. Guys, remember that in a partnership deal like what we have set up in our books, we teach you how to do it on your own. And there is a 1 hour free training on the site, surplusfundsriches.net. Go there, watch that hour long. It'll give you a great idea of what you would do on your own or if you partnered with us. But we do give you the option to partner with us. And obviously, as a result, we're going to make money when you make money. So we have a vested interest in making you succeed. Um, Again, free hour training on the main site, surplusfundsriches.net. Let's get into these three issues that I just covered. So, number one is folks trying to help us by doing more work. The best example is recently we added a second attorney network that allow us to pursue surplus funds where we had to go through heirs, estate, or probate issues. This was a big commitment on our part and literally requires that we spend at least three times the normal amount of time, money, and energy to track down the heirs. We did this because we wanted to maximize the opportunity for our members. The issues that have come up as a result of that, though, are one. The first one is we have repeatedly told our members that they are not to check whether the claimant has passed away. That's a waste of time. It doesn't matter. We're still going to go after the heirs. That's our work. Let us do that part of it, guys. And plus, oh well, I'm going to go into a little more here. Some members have decided to attempt to figure out who the heirs are and include that in the submissions. We can't go by that, guys. We must use trusted skip tracing and air tracing subscriptions that we have and can't afford to chase the wrong people. Let us do that work. Finally, some members started putting the heirs in the deed holder section of the worksheet. That is not what we need. We need to know who the deed holder was. We'll figure out the heirs. The worksheet still has to be filled out as directed. Not hard to do, guys. Once you've turned a couple in, it'll take you about 15 minutes to research a file. So don't put in extra work. Keep rolling with it. The second issue I run into, and I'm going to have to scroll down as I go through this, but are people that think the industry has a 100% conversion rate. In other words, you turn in a file and it's going to go under contract regardless of what's going on in the background. Occasionally, we get someone who has turned in a few files, usually it's one or two, and then they complain about not getting paid. I did a full video on YouTube sometime back going over the variables that can kill a deal. I'm going to go over that again, and therefore affect conversion and the need to keep your pipeline full. We are extremely upfront about the need to be consistent in working files and disclose the fact that there is no guarantee of income because you've got to work. In 15 years of partnering with folks, I can count on one hand the number of our members who have been paid out on a deal submitting less than 5 files. I would recommend that you Google conversion rates for the financial industry or the real estate industry and see what you find. Here are things, I'm going to go over it again, even though I did in that other video. Here are things that can kill a file, kill a deal. The owners have died and have no heirs. People die alone all the time, guys. There is other debt our attorney finds that was not available online. IRS liens, judgments, state income tax liens. That debt has a priority claim to surplus in front of the claimant. Got to check that. Sometimes other firms beat us to the deal. We contact folks immediately after receipt and acceptance of the file that's submitted to us the same day with mailings and calls. We still occasionally get beat. That's reality. In some areas, the county or foreclosing attorney does a decent job of contacting the claimants, guys, the ex owners, and they have started the process of claiming the funds themselves. It does sometimes happen. People move out of the country. There are no good skip tracing systems for that country often, at least not that we can access here in the US. No matter how much information we give, or our claimant recovery company, which has an A plus rating for our recovery company on that, giving 10% up front as good faith, even though we do all that and have an A plus rating, we can't convince everyone that the funds are real. It's people People question that, and it sounds too good to be true, regardless of what we do. We've provided lists showing them the money's there, told them they can call accounting. It's occasionally people are simply not going to believe you. That's reality. Some folks fall off the grid. Guys, we once tracked someone down who was in a homeless shelter. That was a fluke, but we were able to find her. We have done multiple deals where the claimant is incarcerated, and we got lucky. I want to stress that we got lucky finding them through a family member. Sometimes we don't get lucky like that. The third issue is folks who want to argue over our program parameters, specifically the submission rules. We have parameters that are based on 20 years' experience and are designed to maximize the outcome for our members and ourselves. For example, we have minimum submission amounts. Those minimums are designed to leave some room in case there's another debt that will take a portion of the surplus funds. I don't care if it's 10 cents off. We need to draw a line in the sand somewhere. And if we come off and let somebody work one that's 10 cents off, the next thing we're going to do, somebody's going to want to go $1,000 off. And then it's going to we have to draw the line in the sand, and that's where we draw the line. We must have the deed showing the transfer of ownership at the time of the foreclosure. Without it, guys, we cannot be sure the property foreclosed. It may have been canceled or voided at the time of sale or immediately thereafter. And some states allow for post sale redemption. The owner might have redeemed it. We've got to see the deed showing transfer of ownership. You must check the debt. Again, go to surplusfundsriches.net and watch that hour-long video. You'll see why. But without checking debt, we chase deals that are dead from the get-go. All right. You must use either recent surplus funds lists or verify the funds are still being held. Otherwise, you could be using an outdated list. Not all counties update them or use a cumulative list where they've taken off stuff that's already been claimed. So you've got to make sure you're using a recent list or verify the funds, okay? Otherwise, again, you could be using an outdated list where the funds are no longer there. And those are just a few examples. I hope you guys will actually comment on this and give your feedback on it. Obviously, my idea of a rant is not hardcore, but this stuff needs to be said, and some of it's silly. Okay, thinking there's a 100% conversion rate in any industry is silly. You got to work, you got to put in the time, and you have to learn a new skill set. Hope this has helped. Have a great day, guys.